September 26, 2023. And now, we're back in the little cubbyhole for the time being. Why is that? I just didn't really want to set up the tripod in the car as I drive over. And you know what? I think that's the beauty of life. Some days you put in a little bit extra effort, some days you don't. But, am I still putting in the effort though? Yeah. And you might be thinking, oh, does that mean you're forcing yourself to make these videos? In a way, yeah. Do I enjoy making them? Yes. And the main reason too is just because I really have this problem where I feel like I really never take any photos of myself and I really have nothing to look back on. Yeah, I can always be like, oh, I have the memories, right? But isn't it also nice to look back at photos and videos of things that happened in the past and, cherish and relish them? Wait, is relish a word? I just use relish because it sounds fine, but I'm pretty sure relish, unless it has a separate meaning from, the pickle condiment. I might be completely wrong too about that. But another fine day in the PNW where it did rain, but it's not raining currently, so it actually does look quite nice right now. I will say living predominantly, if I can even call it that, I lived in Korea for 1 year when I was a baby, from the age of 0 to 1. So is there even any reason to say I lived anywhere other than the good old Pacific Northwest in the Washington state, where I've really grown to like the weather of raining constantly. I remember I used to hate it growing up, and there are times where maybe I do get tired of it. The only reason I get tired of rain is mainly how bad people are driving in it. That might be a little minor gripe, some might even say, but it really is crazy to me that for how often this state is supposed to rain, that people just forget how to drive in the rain every single time it rains. And especially it's most prevalent during the summer too, where we have a week or a month, maybe even longer than a month without any rain. And then once it actually rains, I go on the interstate and then boom, there's a car collision every mile, every exit, and it's just back to the brim because people just go, wait a second, you tell me I can't slam on the brakes going 60 miles per hour on a wet road and be completely fine? But moving on from me complaining about Washington drivers, which I feel like that's still such a funny thing, that it's just a universal concept at this point where people will always complain about somebody else's city, somebody else's state, somebody else's country's driver. But then it just kind of just gets to the point of, does everybody just think everybody's a bad driver then? Maybe. Because I feel like I've always seen memes where it's just like, oh, driving in Seattle be like, but then the exact same thing will by somebody else, driving in New York be like, and it just shows, like a war zone. One thing I do like about, I missed the light. Come on, this guy could have gone for that. You know what? That guy couldn't have gone for it. I don't need to be mad at him. We're just driving. We're all commuting. We're all doing the same thing in this silly darn life that we all live in. And we're all just trying to get by in it. What is my coping mechanism? I think for now, I really do think going to the gym is a very good coping, or I say coping mechanism I'm trying to run away from something bad, but there are times where I really actively look for going to the gym. Like maybe I had a not so great day and I just go, can't wait to go lift, which is something I definitely never imagined that I would ever say ever in my life, because going to the gym or just working out or even just being athletic in general was never really a positive thing growing up, because I felt like I never really enjoyed it too much. Obviously I'd play a couple of sports here and there, but I remember when I was a kid I really wanted to learn how to play football, but my parents didn't let me because they're like, oh, you're going to get killed out there. To some extent I kind of agree with it. Maybe me playing football as a scrawny little kid back then, at least, was not actually, if I were to say scrawny little kid back then, that makes it sound like I consider myself buff right now. But no, a little bit of Andy lore is that funny enough too, I got a picture sent to me by my cousin. Maybe I learned how to do some video editing magic where I can add that photo as a jump scare right after this video, because it did shock me, because as I say, I don't really have progress photos, and I don't really have anything to kind of show the time and effort that I put into, of working on my body and making sure that I'm healthy again, because that photo that my cousin took of me was really just me downstairs. I have the same glasses on too. Different hair color though. And I look quite a bit different if I were to say so myself. Maybe I'll put that photo right after this car talk. Because, I still don't really know how to edit a video. But what I can do is I can add a photo in between the video shots. I can at least do that right now. I think, too, I'm getting more and more, motivated to some extent to think about actually learning to edit videos. Because, there are some ideas that I want to have. For example, every single one of these videos get music copyright. Not striked, but it get the little copyright indicator because the gym decides to blast music. So maybe a voiceover, maybe pure silence, or maybe I get a mic. So that's cool. I don't know why. Every time I see an imported car and it's a right-hand drive, and it's also generally modified also, I always just think, I'd like to take a little gander and go, that was pretty cool. Because that was actually a pretty cool, it was in the midnight purple, or is it midnight blue? Whatever that Nissan GTR color is, that has the cool color gradient. It's not the exact one, it was kind of a similar-esque one. But it was a 4-door, I think R33 sedan. So not GTR, a GTS. And it did look kind of nice, actually. It had an exposed intercooler and no front bumper, and I thought, whack. But then I realized, why would I say that? That's still a cool car in the end. But enough car talk about car talk in the car talk. What's on the agenda today? Arms. And if I were to say so myself, I am quite sufficiently very sore in my back right now, where I actually considered not going to the gym today because of how sore I was. But then I thought, if it's just my arms and my back is sore, I'm gonna at least go in and see how it works out. If it ends up being a half-assed workout, then I know, okay, next time my back is a little bit too sore, maybe take a rest day, right? But I am quite surprised that maybe it was that 4-day rest period that I took, but I am very surprised how sore my back is today, considering I cut the volume almost by, not quite a half, but almost half yesterday. Because as I said, I used to do very high volume workouts, and technically I still do in a way compared to what some people recommend. But then I cut it out, and then I really started focusing that each set was the perfect set in a way, where I'm even if I were to end on that set, I'll be satisfied. And then I still did 2 sets per exercise generally. Did I do 3 on any of them? I don't think I did 3 on any of them yesterday. I think the only thing I did 3 on were the real dope flies that I did yesterday. But yeah, that's what's just been throwing me off in a good way, where I feel like I'm constantly learning and I still don't know what actually is, the tried and true formula, especially for me, of how I need to work out and what I need to do to maintain constant progression. Because high volume, low volume, I don't know what that means to me. So what do? I experiment with both and see what works. But then it's still at the time too, I don't know where my perfect little median between the sweet spot is. So I still keep experimenting, I still keep doing it. But at the same time, as long as I get a good pump, which means I got muscle work in that area, right? Or at least that's what I hope. And I'm sore in the targeted muscle group the day after, I think that's a pretty good workout then. And the thing too is, I also read too that you should not rely solely on just how sore you are, because your muscle in your body gets used to the stimulus to the point where you will not be as sore as versus when you first start working out. Which I do agree. When I first ever started working out back in January, especially when I first started lifting in January, I remember I would do a couple exercises and the next day I was crippled. I was legitimately crippled. Could not move a finger. But now, here I am where I work out, multiple times a week, and I'm still able to recover fast enough that I can still go and do a different body part the next day. Oh, the gym looks busy today. I guess only time... Actually, not time will tell. Only thing will tell is if when I actually go in. But the gym is looking a bit busier than I am expected today. But first on the agenda, as always for me, 30 minutes of cardio, which is usually I just do incline walking on the treadmill. I crank that sucker up to 15, whatever I don't know if that's 15 degrees of elevation, but whatever the 15 means on when you change the angle. Set the 3.4, 30 minutes of that. Usually just put on a 30-minute long YouTube video, whether that be lore for video games, some random video documentary about a really niche subject. I don't know. The world's my oyster. So I think I'll see you guys in the first working set for triceps, which will probably be assisted dips, because those have been my favorite recently. Uh-oh. No workout video? No working sets filmed in the gym? Well, I have a little bit of a predicament today. My head hurts. I think the past weekend of me really ignoring the sanctity, the sanctuary that is the keen sleeping schedule, I think it's starting to take a toll on me right now because I did my cardio, and then right when I started warming up to start doing my tricep workouts, my first working set, I could start feeling like, the thing is, already during my cardio, I had like a mild headache. And I was like, oh, hopefully this goes away. Because, like, I will say, at least nutrition-wise, I feel like I've been keeping up with it. I'm always well hydrated. I got electrolytes in me. Got food. But I forgot about one key element that the human body needs, especially in a working out context, or just being healthy in general, is the idea of sleep. Have I been slacking off on sleep a little bit? Yes. And funny enough, too, I was talking about this with John the other day, where he was like, I think I need more sleep. And I think I need to take that advice as well, because after the first working set of machine-assisted dips, I was starting to feel a little bit extra headachy. And then the moment I tried going into my second set, that weight was not moving. And by weight, I guess it's technically me, because it's the machine-assisted dips. But because I remember on my first set, I did 9 reps, and that was technically my 2 failure, or maybe I had 1 left in the tank. But as I said, head got a little bit hurty at that time. But then the second set, I did 4 reps, and then trying to exert out that force to start go past 4 was not working out. So in my mind is this: life is indeed short, but at the same time, in the opposite spectrum, life is very vast as well. Will it be the end of me if I miss 1 arm workout? No. And I think too is like, if I'm gonna go in, I mean, I still got my cardio done, so I still feel accomplished for the day. But do I really want to work out with a pretty pain-inducing headache right now? Well, I guess it's not that bad. Like, just sitting here right now, you might be thinking, oh, is this guy lying that he has a headache? He's talking to a camera, yelling in a car right now. Here's the thing: if I'm just here sitting normally, I'm fine. But let's be honest, when you're lifting weights, especially if you're pushing the weight to failure to some extent, or just, working out hard, especially in a lifting context, having a headache is not a very pleasant experience. This is a new thing for me too right now, where I'm like, I never had a headache going in, or if I had a headache, I just didn't go in at all, because I was like, oh, excuse to not go in. This guy didn't put on his blinker and almost ran right into him. Road rage is not cool, so I'm going to calm down now. But today is the first day I took the executive decision where I go, my body is not up to standard. I think I will not have a very pleasant time, so I'm going to call it quits. Save up, rest up, fuel up, and then hope that tomorrow is an extravagant lift then. A sensational one, some might even say too. But that being said, as I said, I don't really feel that bummed out about it, because the fact that, like, I got my cardio in, which already is like the thing I look forward to least in my exercise session. Not because I absolutely hate cardio, it's just, it's not that exciting. You just sit there, stand there, walk there, run there for 30 minutes. And I guess my entertainment was YouTube today, so I guess it wasn't the worst thing in the world, but still, I look forward to the lift more than I do the cardio, and I'm pretty sure that applies to a lot of people. But I got that out of the way, and who knows, maybe if my headache goes away, I'll go back in later in the day. That's always an option too. Like, as I said, I got in 1 working set of triceps, which means I'm pretty sure I will not be fatigued at all because of that. But this is also an experiment in its own way. Will I have partial tricep fatigue because I still got 1 working set in? Who knows? Oh, come on. There's no cars here. Why are you not going? I guess today's just a road rage incident because I have my headache, and I might be a slightly more agitatable, in an irritable state. Oh, that car is destroyed. Whoa! Okay, give you guys a little bit of why I went whoa right there. It's a car being towed by a tow truck, but the entire front end is caved in, and there's like a bunch of tree branches, and I think that might actually be a small tree that was lodged in the front bumper. I wish you guys could saw that. That was actually kind of sick. I mean, not sick. I hope the driver is okay and they have a big insurance payout, but that looked kind of cool, if I'm being honest. It looked very like movie prop-esque. Another thing, the past couple of days, every time I'm driving on this specific road, actually, is where I keep saying wacky things, like that wet sleeping bag that I had yesterday. But I think I'm going to title today's video September 26, 2023, and I'm just going to call it Cardio Headache. Or maybe I'll call it Cardio and Headache. That'd be a fun title, right? A little bit of context, you know the year, the date, and then I go, I'll tell you what I did today. Did I film my cardio? No. What would I even be? That actually sounds kind of fun. I feel like, would that be an extra cardio workout if I filmed myself doing cardio for 30 minutes, but I'm also talking for 30 minutes? Because obviously, while talking is not a workout, that's still a lot more breathing at play involved, especially while you're in an activity that requires a lot more breathing. Something to think about, something to let it simmer a little bit. But did not get an arm workout in. Technically one working set of tricep. But what I'm hoping is either if the headache goes away, I'll go in later in today, or if the headache doesn't go away, I'm going to rest up, fuel up, and then almost in a way is I'm promising my body that I'll guarantee it enough beautiful sleep tonight that tomorrow I can go in and give 110%, some might even say. Today, I was only able to give 25%. But tomorrow, I'm gonna go in there and I'm gonna have the most bone-chilling, spine-tingling. I ran out of adjectives. Fellas. But that's the thing, though. Could I miss a day of lifting? Yes, I missed 4 days of lifting last week. And I still laugh about it to this day because I feel immensely sore from my back day from yesterday. But at the same time, it feels good. Like, if I take things at my own pace and not stress about the overall, just wanting the grind culture, the hustle culture. What's wrong with taking things slow and taking things at my own pace? And I think I'm still immensely proud of what I've achieved because, as I said, I probably won't add that photo in because I don't know how to add that photo with my current editing setup. But I saw a photo from me, it's either 1 or 2 years ago, and I looked vastly different, especially in the neck region. I'm not lying where my old photos did give me very Kim Jong-un vibes with the stature that he holds. If you know what I'm talking about. That man has a very powerful stature, especially in the neck to chin region. Very stable looking, some might even say. But yeah, that's literally it. Sometimes life isn't that exciting. Sometimes life you don't get a lift in, but I think that's a-okay. And I still feel fully content with myself, where I think, I still win. I put in the effort, and I made an effort. Could I have put in the extra effort and try to fight through the headache? Yeah, but I also feel like, isn't that kind of pushing my own health in a way too? Like, what if me pushing through a headache actually makes it worse somehow, and I have an even more miserable day because of it? So, some things you got to cut your losses for the sake of future you. I have to work in a way that future me will be happy about what past me did. And I think right now is a good call for it. And it's really silly to think about in retrospect that I'm literally talking about me not lifting today after going to the gym. Hey, look, another right-hand car. Well, that's actually nice. That is very nice. I've seen 2 right-hand drive vehicles, a 4-door sedan variants, all rear-wheel drive, and they look fantastic, actually. I like that. So even this day, too, like, if I didn't leave the gym early today, I wouldn't have seen that car. Is seeing that car really, the best thing that could have happened to me today? Probably not, but I mean, I'll take whatever small highlights I can get in the day. And the thing, too, I live a pretty mundane life. I'm not an influencer. I'm not some person that travels the world every single day. I have a pretty normal routine. There might be some things that I look forward to in the day more than others, but still, the little things here and there, they add up, where even such small things as being able to talk to somebody or being able to say hi to my parents, I still do cherish every day. Then there are some times, too, where I feel like I should cherish it more because there are some times where I take it for granted, but I mean, none of us are perfect, right? And even just being able to acknowledge that lack of perfection is how I've been able to kind of heal and improve myself to the point where I truly do feel like I'm at a very good point in my life right now. Could it be better? Of course. Could it be worse? Of course as well. And those are the things that I always think about. Like, when I always think, too, it's like, man, what a shitty day today. Couldn't get a lift in. But then I think, too, you know what? I got up. I ate food. I even got my cardio in. But I do look forward to reading a ton of emails and working. But I mean, come on, we all gotta work a little bit, right? I mean, the dream is to not work and live a very fulfilling life, but sometimes you do need to go through a little bit of a period where you're gonna grind a little bit. You're gonna work that 9 to 9. Oop, I stepped over the line a little bit, but in a way too, it's like it's like motivating for me now too, where my lack of a lift for arm day today is making me so excited to go in tomorrow. Like, this is fuel that I feel like if I wake up tomorrow and I feel fully rested and just ready to go, I'm gonna go into the gym, and that 30-minute, that car looks like, oh, okay, my God. I thought I was about to be in a head-on collision. To give you a little bit of context right now, and it sounds silly because you guys don't see the road at all, but that was genuine fear in my eyes for a second, because the guy that was coming in the oncoming traffic lane while I was waiting to turn started veering towards my lane, and when I made eye contact, when I looked into his windshield, he was looking down at his phone. I was like, oh, well, this is it, fellas. Day September 26, 2023. Didn't get a lift and got it. See, I almost thought I had to redo the title, where I was going to have to write September 26, 2023, cardio, headache, and then car accident. But what a blessed day. What a blessed day. Did I get into a car collision right now? No. And now, since I already know that I didn't get to a car collision, a net positive, after what it could have been a net negative, and now I get to think, I get to rest up today and look forward to a beautiful arm day tomorrow. And I am genuinely excited for it, because I'm like, especially the last time I got to film my arm day too, that was the best arm pump I think I've ever achieved, especially in record amount of time too. And I know we don't really have to do an arm workout or any workout in general where I have to think, oh, I have to get it within a certain time constraint, because if I take too long, it's inefficient. I mean, as long as you're in there, you get a pump, you feel good. I mean, that's a good workout for me. Like, could there be better parameters set so that I could have a more efficient and optimal, scientifically backed workout? Of course. But if I keep doing that, where's the joy in that? If I, the person working out, isn't enjoying it, right? I don't even need to take the tripod out today. Like, I can just leave it in my car. But I don't even know if I'm going to eat after I get home, so I probably won't be able to do the weird cut that I did yesterday, where I was like, goodbye, and then I did the 2 eggs. But I hope, is it outro time right now? I hope everybody has a splendid day, and remember that you don't actually have to. You don't actually have to live to get